subject and segment, and we do it together, or you'll interact with me on it and I'll cover it. But today I wanted to do something different because it is, special today.
Wait a sec. I'm asking the questions
Yes,
here.
Go ahead. Ask me
So,
whatever
are you
want.
ready? Are you
Yes.
ready to
I'm
give
ready.
people an insight into
Me.
the magnetic marketing
Yes.
magnet?
Yes.
Okay, Jeanette.
Okay.
What made you want to be a marketing magnet?
Okay. That I actually wanted that since I was a child.
Really?
Yes.
A marketing magnet?
Yes. I didn't know that that's exactly how to call it, but this is how it started. I started selling in my father's menswear store, the big one, the main one, when I was 8.
What was the store called?
Burks of Belleville Menswear.
Burks?
Burks of Belleville Menswear.
Oh, okay, good.
And we had a few stores. And I went to work with my dad when I was 8. I'll never forget the first day he took me, and it was Christmas time. And he sort of told me, you know what? Just stay with the little stuff in the front, like the socks and the underwears and the ties. Don't try anything else. And that only worked till noon. Because by noon, the store was packed, and
You'd already tried on all the underwear?
No. He meant sell the little stuff. Don't go for the big stuff. Stay
Just
small
sell.
first.
Can I
right?
help you with your underwear
Yeah,
purchase?
Or whatever. Because we had it's a big store. We had different we had made to measure suits, and then we had casual wear. We had all this, and the smaller stuff was in the front. The shirts, the socks, the underwear, all that accessory type stuff. So he wanted me to stay there. He said, just stay there and do what you can, learn the business, whatever. Well, sure enough.
What they couldn't afford a babysitter that day?
I used to go to work with them all the time, but
I
my
know.
parents, both of them. But anyway, it was not even noon, just before noon, and it was busy, and my father didn't see what I was up to, and I approached a lady that walked in to buy some clothes, and I said, "Hi, my name's Jeanette. How can I help you?" And she starts telling me what she wants, and I got her a suit. And then I coordinated it with a shirt and a tie, and I did all this, upselling stuff.
At the age of 8.
Yes, and then they figured out what I was up to, and my father comes running up. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was busy. This is just my daughter. I'm teaching her the ropes." And the lady said, "No, your daughter's great. She's doing great on her own. She sold me all this stuff for my husband, coordinated the colors, everything, and I'm going to buy it all." So we went to the register, and I was 8. I didn't know how to write up a bill, because he used to write them by hand. So he wrote it up for me.
Yeah.
And I was 3'11", and I couldn't reach the till to ring it in. So he had to ring it in for me. And I said to him, "Don't you forget to hit number 3 because I want my commission." So that's how it started. And then when I was 15, I was already into marketing and promotion with my mom, who did a lot of stuff for my father. I would say she was his official PR department and taught me everything I needed to know from a very young age, because it wasn't just that my mother did this in my father's business. She also did it a lot for charities, and she did a lot of balls and different things, charity work, fashion shows, everything. And I learned a lot from a young age about business and marketing and promotion. And by the time I was 15, I was already doing it myself. I was helping with the ads. I was coming up with concepts like Breakfast at Burke's, which was a customer appreciation day. That was my first big...
That was your idea?
Yes, that was me. And I got cellos playing in the front window, and we had a big breakfast and all these sale prices from this time to that time. I planned the whole thing. And I also did something for my high school when I was 15 years old. Sorry, no, I was a little bit older. I made a fashion show which was acted out in scenes, and had also it was amazing. It was like we had everything acted out in scenes. It involved the teachers and the students. It had all these different clothes, but it also had I had French carts coming and serving pastries and stuff in the intermission. I got everything donated. I coordinated everything myself. I made $1,500 in one night for my school, and I was so busy with it they used to give me an office in the guidance counselor. When I went to school in the morning.
You had your own office?
Yes, I did, because I was coordinating all these things and getting all the food and the clothes and everything donated and sponsors that I needed. I missed school. I was missing some of my classes. And I actually missed my Ontario scholarship by 0.8% because I was working on that fashion show. But I still had almost an 80 average.
Were you on student council?
No, I was not on student council. I had a miserable life growing up in Belleville.
But you did all this
I
great
did,
stuff.
but I had a miserable
Even
life.
when you were in high school?
Yes, because I was constantly harassed for being me, and I wasn't a jock. I was more creative. I was also very, very harassed for being Jewish, and I had a miserable life, and I could not wait to get out of there. So I took extra courses and summer school and everything, and I was on my way to Western by the University of Western Ontario by the time I was 18 years old. And I had already 2 university degrees by the time I was 21.
That's amazing. Okay, just a quick question. Nothing to do with, but is there a synagogue in Belleville?
Yes, there is. And my parents were very, very active and remain active in it. One synagogue for the whole, there's a very small Jewish population there.
There used to be one in Welland too.
I know.
But they closed it.
I know.
I
We
told
knew
you that,
people
right?
From Welland.
Did you?
Well, Marilyn Weston is from Welland.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I had a miserable life. I mean, horrible. Like, I can't even begin to tell you. I lost so much weight when I was in grade 12. Like, I was a size 4, and I made my hair blonde, and I did everything I could to make myself not look Jewish because I was so harassed.
See, I thought that was natural blonde hair.
No, I was born naturally blonde. I mean, I'm not dark, but honestly, I had a miserable life. I'll tell you one day just how bad it was. It was horrible.
That's sad.
It was sad. I'm telling you, I cried most of my child. I had a miserable life. I don't even want to go there right now.
But you're here now, and you're a magnetic marketing magnet.
Yes.
And so and
carry
we're
on.
finding out about some of that. But well, what's some of your greatest successes? Marketing
I would
yourself
have
and your
to
clients.
say, first of all, when I started out, I was primetime PR for 16 years, and I functioned as a publicist. And that was a great life lesson for me and business lesson, because in the course of being a publicist, I started doing all these extra things. And people don't realize that being a publicist is a lot more than just putting people in the media or getting their story in the media. You have to brand them, you have to package them, they have to have a great marketing message, they have to have a niche, they have to have all these things just to be able to get the media coverage. So I was doing a lot of this, and I never charged for it. I only charged for putting them in the media. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, there's a lot of extra things I could be doing here. I had the talent and the skills. But when I first started Primetime PR, my first client was Club Med with the Jewish Singles Registry. And I planned this whole thing, and it was amazing. We did the first Jewish singles trip to Club Med Mexico from Toronto. And it was a joint thing, and I went to the Jewish Singles Registry's owner and proposed this whole thing, got Club Med involved, created the trip, and then I created a kickoff event to start it, which was called Club Med in the City. And it was a games night, and we held it at the Unicorn on Eglinton.
I know where that is.
And I took that place, and I went down there. I had no budget, and I went down to the prop house, and I got them to donate to me all kinds of things to make that Irish pub into a Mexican fiesta. And I stood there for hours with very little help, and I redid the whole place myself. Set up all the game stations, got the volunteers to run, got Club Med in to do it too, and lead it, and we did the Club Med song. We got everybody excited to sign up for the trip. And would you believe 30 people went on that trip?
Now that is a success story.
Yes, and then we did it again the following year.
Well, that's amazing.
And I went to Club Med
You know
too,
what?
and it was so much fun. I was so wild there.
How wild were you?
Wild.
No, come on.
I was wild.
Details, Jeanette.
I had an amazing time there. Amazing. I should have brought the pictures. Then you would have seen.
I'm surprised they developed them.
They're not that bad. I mean, Club Med, it's fun, right? You have a good time there. Lots of activities. Every night's a fiesta. And lots of great looking Latin guys. Plus, there was we hooked this trip up to also be at the same time. There was other Jewish singles trips there at the same time from New York and Chicago and everything. It was amazing. One of the best 10 days of my life. Honestly, I was so happy.
Why don't you do something like that again?
Things have evolved. I keep doing new things. But anyway, that was one of my greatest successes. My other biggest success when I first started was I got one of my clients who was a psychotherapist. She did not even have her book written yet. And I got her into every single Chapters and Indigo store on a speaking tour about what she did.
Before she wrote the book.
That's right. Every single one.
Now, okay, that you can get away with that if she's written the book since. Has she written the book since? Or is she
I
still
believe
working
she
on
has
it?
a book now, but can you imagine pulling that off and she didn't even have a book? And we're talking Chapters and Indigo here. Every single store, book, solid. All across the GTA.
I'm trying to think of a funny joke to go with that, but I can't think of one right now. Okay.
So those were some of my greater
Yeah.
successes.
Now, what about the challenges?
I had a lot of challenges too. Okay, I had financial challenges. I did a lot of things on a shoestring budget. I took risks. I drew on my line of credit. I was terrified that I would never be able to pay it back, but I did. I challenged myself. I had issues with my health, major issues with my health that kept me down a little bit and set me back, and also prevented me from working as much as I wanted to because, you know, I'm a racehorse. I don't like being kept down. I had challenges balancing everything out because, you know, like Rose before you, I don't sleep a lot and I work a lot of hours myself. I find that being scheduled and having your plan of action ready to go really, you know, keeps me focused.
Okay, I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
It's not on my sheet
Okay,
either, okay?
okay.
But when you're facing those kinds of health challenges,
Yeah,
right?
it was
And
scary.
you do want to do so much. And also you're face to face with your mortality, right?
Yeah.
There's the chance,
Yeah.
the possibility that, and it's right in front of your face, that all the plans you want to do, all the things you want to accomplish in your life, all of a sudden you're faced with the possibility that that might not happen. How did you deal with that?
Well, at first I got freaked out big time. I can't tell you how many nights I cried all night and just thought, you know, I was going to lose everything and I wouldn't be able to afford anything. And it was scary because I had spent so many years living literally on 3 hours of night sleep. Like, you know, I was a red carpet publicist. I did everything from charities to celebrities to, you know, small business people. And I had worked so hard building that business up since I was like 22 years old. And I thought that I was going to lose everything. I mean, everything, and wind up on the streets. And I didn't know what to do. And also I was becoming increasingly less satisfied with the work I was doing. And I think I got into a very dark place. And that's when it occurred to me that I could take all my teachings and all my accomplishments and go further. And that's when I kind of blossomed and really evolved into the person I really wanted to be, which was a marketing PR coach and consultant rather than a publicist.
Yeah.
I no longer limited myself in any capacity. I would talk about every marketing topic. I integrated it. I came up with the magnetic marketing process as a coaching process. I put myself on a speaking tour after I became a trained Toastmaster in less than 10 months and got the international president on the top shows when he was in town and got my CTM the next night.
Wow.
Yeah, and I also became a columnist in 5 publications, recognized as a marketing PR columnist. I got into the Learning Annex. I started speaking. I put PR on the kind of like on the road as a show, explaining the differences between PR and advertising.